Okay, so how did I do in May? We're about to find out. Hi, I'm Elena of Financialdemics, and today we are talking about how I did in May when it comes to my budget. This is just my numbers, what I contribute to bills. There is income that is removed from it from me, but then also there's income removed also from like my husband, his bills, other stuff that is paid for that he doesn't really want in the mix and out here on these internet streets, and you know, that's his choice. And so I'm showing you from my perspective what I contribute to the household and what I actually like spend and things like that. So let's get into how I did for May. I'm going to have it up next to me while I'm talking about the different areas. In May, we started with a starting balance of $4,200 after we deducted some income and some other bills. So we're starting with 4,200. That is exactly what happened in May. When we go over to the savings and investing piece, I have something that automatically invests, so I include that in here. And then I have savings, but some of that savings is just for like small little things that I'm saving for individually. It doesn't include sinking funds. It's just like I have a little random savings account, as I call it. It's for like things that are really not savings, but they just come up. And so I have money that I like to put places for stuff like that. So I usually contribute 10%, but this time I did 360 because I was kind of iffy on whether or not the starting balance was going to be the balance we worked with or not. So 360 it is. Money went to where it was supposed to be for the month. As you can see with my bills, for the most part, we actually came out better than I thought. So in May, when I started in May, we had a lot of changes happening in May. And so I added in some bills because I wasn't exactly sure how the month was going to pan out when I originally budgeted for May. But as you can see, I didn't have to cover the electric bill or FiOS. FiOS did come back down just a little. You know, if you haven't checked out my June budget, then you'll see that FiOS did drop, thank goodness, and I didn't have to pay that difference, which was crazy. Also, you can see I have highlighted Apple. Woo! So this Apple One switch was a little bit of a learning lesson for me. Apple One is cheaper. It's not Apple's fault. It is Elena's fault. Elena was too busy in May to kind of figure out what all needed to be canceled so that everybody could switch over to the Apple One plan. I actually didn't figure it out till like last week. So we're going to have some overflow from June. It just is what it is. So we ended up paying for Apple One and for everybody else's iCloud. The Apple Music didn't charge, and my iCloud didn't charge, but everybody's individual iCloud did charge. And so it's just me trying to figure it out and not taking the time to figure it out. That was just my fault. So we had to eat that, but overall we came under budget for just the bills part of it. I had budgeted for $2,047.18. It actually ended up being $1,807.69. So we're pretty happy about that. All right, so let's go over to variable expenses and sinking funds. Let's try to make it a little bit bigger. All right, so for travel, I told you all I was traveling. This was just kind of like spending money for while I was traveling. And I ended up spending, I budgeted 200, I ended up spending 140.47. Both ways I had delays, so I actually ended up spending money at the airport that I didn't plan on spending, just because, like, you know how it is. At least I try to eat before I go to the airport. But because of the delays, I ended up eating both ways at the airport. So that was part of it. Food, I went over by $5.82, which I'm not mad about, because if you saw last month, I was significantly under. This month, I should mention, food also includes like when I buy little household items for the household, like toilet paper and stuff like that. But I didn't buy that. I was buying more food. And what else happened this month with food? I was trying new things. So even though like I said, I eat on a plan, I was like trying to spice it up a little bit. And so I was trying different recipes. So I was buying little things that I didn't already have here to go in those recipes. So food was a little higher. I'm not mad at it. We're good on that. Personal. So you see, last month I spent less in food, more in personal. This month I spent more in food, less in personal. So I only spent $74.35 of the $200 that I actually planned to spend, which means I have leftover personal money and I'm going to spend it. So I actually carried it over because I'm going to spend it for sure. The kid, this is a sinking fund. I always put aside $200 and that happened. May. So May on my budget was for all the things that were happening in May. So like Mother's Day, Memorial Day, and then I feel like it was something else. I traveled for the graduation. I think I was putting the gift in just the May fund because I really was trying to just cash flow and not pull from gift fund. So actually I had budgeted $200. We actually spent $235.70. And part of the reason why I spent that much, because it wasn't we, it was I that spent that much, was I spent a little more than I had planned to for my Mother's Day gift, but I love it. She's happy. We're good. But then also, we were outside Memorial Day weekend. Like, I expected us to be outside, but kind of like maybe like a cookout, but we didn't do that. We were out. We was out and about. So we spent a little bit more, but that was okay because we was out for like a couple of days. So I'm happy with that because me and my husband both was spending money. Like, we was out. And so I'm fine with that. We had a good time, especially after the last couple years. I ain't even mad. And then I had a miscellaneous of $125.78. I did not touch that overall, and I'll explain that in a second when we get to the bottom. So I had planned to spend $1,175.78. I spent $856.34. So what happens is with the miscellaneous, I don't consider money being taken from miscellaneous if I'm under budget in other areas. So you can see I was under budget in personal, I was under budget in travel. So that amount is less than what that total is for that area. So for example, truthfully, I was over by, let's say, $41 in two different categories. That $41 easily could have been added to travel. That $41 easily could have been added to personal, because in those areas I was significantly below. Well, I can't say significantly for travel, but definitely for personal, I was significantly below. So since that was the case, I don't consider those overages where I need a pull from miscellaneous. So miscellaneous gets to carry over to the next month. So that is why I actually do not take any money from miscellaneous for the month. All right, so let's move to debt. Okay, so for debt, $250 for the car. That includes some extra money. I did not in May budget for a snowball payment because of all the changes. And if you see my June video, then you already know we just try to figure it out at this point. Then for student loan, I put away $345. Apple, for that 0% debt that I have over there, is $2204. And shout out to Fun and Budgets. So she said that what she usually does is she'll shorten the time frame. So like this is 0% for 24 months. So she says what she does is she pays it off like 2 months before. So 0% in my case for 22 months. And I think I'm gonna stick with that. I kind of like that idea. It just makes it a little bit easier. And I really want to put all extra money towards that car. And so that's what we're gonna be doing. I'm not gonna put any extra money to wrap up this little 0% situation I got going on. I'm going to put it towards that car and get that taken care of. So for the debts, I budgeted $617.04. That is what we spent, $617.04. All right, so what I forgot to do, y'all, is total up the differences in the categories. So I'll be right back. All right, so we are back with the totals. So for income, The income was the starting balance, of course. So I budgeted for 4,200. 4,200 went to the accounts. I have multiple accounts. The bills and the debt goes into one account that pays all bills. The lifestyle expenses goes into a separate account, and sinking funds have their own account also. So that's where money went. So 4,200 went to where it was supposed to go. Savings also has its own accounts, and it's multiple accounts because one is investing. So that went there also. Bills. We ended up spending $239.49 less than what we planned for. So that money will stay in the bills account and roll over, because then it'll just help create a buffer for whenever something else like maybe more. So like for that electric bill, it's an equal payment plan, but sometimes you have to basically I want to say level up, but that's not the word. But basically they look to see how much you use, and if you use more, they charge you more, right? And so, you know, at least there'll be a buffer there for things like that, or if something else just happens and we have a new bill or whatever. So that's there. Variable, we spent $319.46 less than what we had planned. That also will stay where it needs, except for the amount for personal. My personal money literally gets spent because I work hard. I need to spend my money. I might not spend it all in the month, but it will get spent. As y'all saw last month, it got spent. So that is there. Debt, exactly what I planned for happened. So we actually spent $558.93 less than planned for the month. So overall, we were on budget, and I am very excited because you saw April was special. And so that's okay though. That's how our month went for May. And I'm happy with it. I'm happy with the budget, even with the nonsense with Apple and trying to figure that out. How did you do in May? Were you on budget? Do you need to make some changes? Did you decide you need to change some things? Let me know. I definitely know that we're changing one of the sinking funds. I'll be talking about that later. If you like my budget videos and you have not seen the June video yet of how I budgeted for June, then definitely go and check that out. If you're trying to figure out how to budget, then definitely check out this video right here, and I'll see you next time with an all new video.